Welcome, friends. Episode 4, Dan Tremblay Music. Wouldn't it be neat if you're a solo performer that you could perform as one person, but create all these layers, all these levels, and create this amazing full sound? Well, you can, and today I'm going to show you how. Today we're talking about live looping. Okay, now live looping's been around for a long time. People have been doing it for years, okay? Start off with probably mostly guitar pedals and artists like Ed Sheeran. Okay, if you haven't seen him live looping with his Boss pedal and his acoustic guitar and a microphone, dude has it down to a science. Whether or not you like his music, his live looping performances, wow, the guy just has it down. Amazing. Rico Loop. If you haven't seen Rico Loop, check out his video and song One Shot, where he's just walking around the streets, sampling everything on the spot and creating this just wall of sound. It is amazing, all done live. Again, the guy is just a genius. I'll link to his website below. Andy Othling, lowercase noises, guitarist-based loop setup. The guy is like a connoisseur of ambient guitar and pedals, and it's amazing. He's performing on YouTube all the time. He's got a Patreon stream now. Just anything to do with Andy Othling. The guy is just amazing. Beautiful, beautiful music, beautiful looping setup. Again, this is just an expert looper. Reinhard Buhr, the guy, just a multi-instrumentalist live looping setup. It's kind of like, it's busking to the extreme. So he sets up his live looping setup. He's playing guitar, he's adding vocals over top. He's got some keyboards in there, percussion, didgeridoo. So this is something that I've started to experiment with. I've done a few online live performances. I did one live performance, which is difficult these days during a pandemic. So I'm going to show you what my setup is, what I use, and hopefully give you some ideas about what you can do as a solo performer, even during pandemic times where we can't go around into venues. Well, you can do it from right here and live stream into, YouTube, all kinds of different platforms. There's Twitch, there's Facebook Live, Instagram Live. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, so the meat and potatoes. It's this puppy right here. All right, this beautiful, magnificent piece of art, very dusty right now. This is the Boss RC505 loop station. Okay, it's been around for a long time. It's got 5 channels, 5 separate channels. This is my favorite part though. It's got faders on each of those channels. Okay, 5 channels, but each of these you can layer just endlessly on each one of the channels. You get effects going in, effects coming out, and you just build and build and build. I'm going to link to one of my live performances that is on YouTube, so you can check out one of my live setups. So I run everything through MainStage, through my laptop, the old MacBook. Ooh, shiny, I got a nice little reflection here. Shiny, shiny. This is an old laptop, bought it used. I think it's like a 2014. Works like a charm for this setup, never had a problem. I run it through MainStage. I have a ton of my favorite samples loaded up on MainStage, all my favorite sounds. Via USB, all of my samples are on a Samsung SSD, all right, which will speed up the performance of loading your samples. Highly recommended, separate SSD. I believe Christian Henson has had issues with the cable connections with these puppies. I haven't had a problem yet, although I don't use it nearly as much as he do. If you don't follow Christian Henson's YouTube channel, you got to check it out. Dude is just, his rants are epic and just so passionate, just a genius at what he does. M Audio Keystation, ooh, also dusty. 61 keys, because for live I want something nice and light, unlike my Korg Triton back here. It's like a beast, back-breaking beast. So I want something super light. Wouldn't go any less, if you're a keyboard player, any less than 61 keys. You're gonna be really limited. Anything less than that, don't go less than 61. There's semi-weighted keys. It's got a nice little piano feel to it. Of course, I have my sustain pedal that I throw in there. Another thing I use is the Boss FS6 pedal switch. Okay, and that's gonna go back into the back panel of the Boss, into the controller kind of outlet. And then you can program that within the Boss. I'll see if I can find the YouTube video that I found, showed me how to do it. It's a little complicated at first. It's got an A/B switch. One of them is literally just to start and stop all the channels, which is really neat. You can kind of like take everything out. You can still be singing live, performing live. You can drop it out and boom, you can drop it really back in, try to make it a little more impactful. And then the other one you can set up to control any one of those 5 individual channels. So what I use it for is guitar, electric guitar, because obviously if you're playing guitar, it's good to have your hands free. So very handy. Now some people, like that Reinhardt Bureau that I was talking about, have moved to an Ableton setup. You're gonna hear a whole lot about Ableton Live, crazy kind of things. I think Andy Othling uses Ableton Live. I haven't gone there yet. Okay, probably one of the biggest reasons is I find the RC505 is just so easy to use. It's so easy to sync up tracks. The buttons are they're so sensitive, and they just lock. You got to practice using it, that's for sure, but they just lock. The tempos lock together and just sync seamlessly. And so for me, it's lots of fun to have kind of a hardware. We have so much software these days. It's nice to have some hardware that we can really kind of, play with the knobs and the buttons, and it's just fun. It's just really fun to use. It's kind of an instrument unto itself. I experimented for a long time with the MainStage loopback plugin, which I could not make work. I tried for hours and days and weeks. Loopback plugin from MainStage. Some people have been able to make it work. I can't make it work. I'm so frustrated with it, I almost lost my mind. So this guy, the RC505, which by the way, I bought and then sold, and then instantly regretted it, then went back to buy it from the same place that I sold it to, and somebody had bought it. I was crushed. I'm like, what an idiot. So then I bought another one from Sweetwater, customer service in Sweetwater, amazing. Although you will get hit with a customs charge ordering stuff from the US and Canada, beware. But customer service in Sweetwater, amazing. And now there's no way. You have to pry this thing out of my cold, dead hands, because nobody's gonna get a hold of it. And plug my microphone into there, sing into it. Guitar goes into there. The keyboard is MIDI direct to my laptop, running MainStage, all the samples. Tons of sounds on there. I've never had a problem with MainStage locking up or freezing, except for the loopback plugin, but has a live performance tool housing all of your virtual instruments. If you're streaming from an SSD, haven't had any issues. I have a ton of samples loaded up. I have multiple instances of Omnisphere and like tons of sounds. I never had an issue. It just works. Super easy to use. If you're familiar with Logic, MainStage is just a live version of Logic, and that's all it's meant to do, is just to facilitate live performance. I output all of that sound. It goes into my Focusrite 18i8 interface, which then goes into my second computer, okay, my Mac, also old Mac, but sweet, works like a charm. And then I take all of that, and the signal is outputted into OBS, which if you're not familiar with OBS, that is kind of like the standard software which facilitates live streaming. So check it out. It's kind of a beast unto itself, but once you figure it out, fairly straightforward once you get your hands on it. and then that goes into YouTube Live. Okay, so that's my live streaming setup. I'm going to link to the video, or one of my live videos, so you can check out. The one I'm linking to is a live kind of composition, sort of improv stream. So there's no dialogue, there's no talking, because sometimes I get a little so you can just literally put it on in the background. It's a little bit long, you know, it's under an hour, but put it on in the background and just listen to it. And what I'm trying to do is just create live cinematic ambient soundscapes in the background. So you can just kind of put it on in the background and check it out. It's all done live. I'm not using any backing tracks. Nothing is quantized. Nothing, there's no click track that I'm playing to. Everything is live. And I always keep it that way. And it's probably one of the biggest reasons why I haven't gotten into Ableton Live, is because I love improvising and I love starting from scratch. And I love doing, playing my songs live differently every single time, with slightly different tempos and slightly different arrangements. Even if I'm using the same sounds, if you listen to my different live performances, you can hear, well, that sounds a little bit different, or that song is longer this time, or it's shorter this time, or it's a little bit faster, or, oh, he did that, or he did this. I try to keep it different every time I do it. Why recreate your recorded music live exactly the same? Why bother? Why is anybody going to want to hear it? Do it differently. Create something different. Try to make it unique every time. Maybe some of the people who are coming to your shows are the same people. Maybe some of the people who are logging into your live streams are the same fans. If it's the same every time, they're going to be bored out of their mind. So try to make it different. Try to do some improv. Try to do some things off the cuff. Keep it fresh, keep it real. I don't like to be locked into a template. I don't like to be locked into a tempo, into an arrangement, into a certain group of sounds. I like to make it a little bit different every time, and I hope that keeps it interesting. That's just part of my improvisation background, wanting to keep it, keep exploring different things. So that's it, my friends. That's my live looping setup. RC505 is awesome. Highly recommend it. Everything runs through there. MainStage outputs into OBS, and then it's YouTube Live. I also have experimented with some video overlays, which you can see in some of the live performances, which some people really liked. And it's using stock footage from video blocks, story blocks, stock footage, video footage that I've licensed, and it kind of, I created an overlay in OBS, kind of plays on top of me. And the reason I did that is because I was trying to recreate what this live performance was supposed to be, which is pre-pandemic. And it was going to be a living room tour with a projector projecting the image over top of me. And that was the plan. Enter pandemic, enter crazy 2020. And you have to adapt. So I tried to kind of incorporate that into a live stream setting. Some people thought it was really cool. Some people thought maybe a little bit distracting. So I'll probably tweak it and try some different things. But you gotta practice with the looper. I've spent hours and countless hours practicing continuously, recording myself. You can record yourself in OBS long before you ever put it into before you test it with YouTube or any other streaming platform. So I recorded like dozens of my looping performances long before they ever saw the light of day, and tweaked and changed and practiced. I cannot emphasize enough. We watch these crazy videos, like you'll watch the Rico loop one shot and you'll be so blown away. He's walking around with this thing, you're like, oh, that's so easy. I can't believe how easy it is. No, it's not. Dude probably has spent years perfecting his looping skills. He's a looping connoisseur. Okay, just because he makes it look easy doesn't mean that it is. So practice, practice, practice. That's it, my friends. So I'd love to hear from your comments. Like, subscribe, check it out. Link to my website, all kinds of free content going to be adding. Check out some of my live performances, live looping performances. I hope to be doing some more soon. Always inspired. Check out some of these artists I'm talking about. Andy Othling, Lowercase Noises. Awesome. Check out Rico Loop. I'd love to hear from you if you found this useful. I'd love to know about if you're doing live looping, what your setup looks like, if it's different, if it's similar. So I hope to hear from you soon. Click on the link below. Tons of free content going to be added all the time. I'd love to be a part of your learning experience. Stay safe, my friends.